Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tony Vinchelle with A Stronger You Fitness, ASU Fit, and the Becoming a Stronger You movement. Happy Monday. I hope that all of you had an amazing weekend. My weekend was super awesome. If you want to see pictures and stuff from my weekend, you can look those up on my Instagram page at A Stronger You. My weekend was absolutely amazing, and I am still sort of floating on that high from this past weekend. But anyway, hope your weekend was awesome. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And this week's topic, we are talking about butts, guts, and guns. That's right, butts, guts, and guns. That is the theme for this week. So we are going to be discussing glutes, booties, buttocks, whatever you want to call it. We are going to be talking about abs, and we are going to be talking about biceps and triceps and all of those things that a lot of us are super concerned about when we look at our own bodies. Hey Tesnisha, how are you? I do want to encourage everyone, because I get so many questions about butts, guts, and guns. This video is public on my Facebook page, so please share this if you have anybody in your audience, anybody on your page. Hey Tisha, how are you? Anybody that you know in your Facebook audience who could benefit from this information. So this week, butts, guts, and guns. And I have my pink folder, so let's go ahead and open up the pink folder and go over a list of this week's topics. Okay, so today, Monday, hey Tisnisha, thank you for hopping on. Monday, today, we are going to be discussing why your butt is sagging. Your butt, your booty, your backside, your glutes, whatever you want to call it. Why it's sagging and what you can do about it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Tomorrow, we will be discussing how to reduce the appearance of cellulite around your butt. Okay, so that's number 2. That's on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we will be discussing how to get rid of the flappy chicken wings. And I call them chicken wings, but that's when you have the extra flat here on your tricep, and then when you, well, mine doesn't move that much, but when you flick it, it kind of like bounces, and when you say hi, so do your arms say hi to people too. So we're going to be talking about that on Wednesday. On Thursday, the topic is abs. We're going to be talking about abdominals and why you cannot see your abs. So that's on Thursday. And then on Friday, 5 Tips Friday, I am going to be giving you 5 tips to help you tighten and firm your butts, guts, and guns. All without surgery. Okay? Not that I'm against surgery, but ideally we all want to make sure that we are in a situation where we're not having to have that surgery, if at all possible. So those are this week's topics, okay? Butts, guts, and guns. Make sure you catch me every Monday through Friday, especially this Monday through Friday at 12 noon, okay? So let's get into today's topic, okay? Why your butt, your booty, why your butt is sagging, and what you can do about it. So let me give you a little bit of background, and that will help you understand what's going on with your body, okay? So most of the fat that's in the buttocks area, that's in that butt area, is found in the gluteal fold. That's where you're gonna find most of the fat. That's what gives most of the volume that you see in the glute area for most women. Because the fact of the matter is, if we tell the truth, hey Ebony, how are you? A lot of the butts that we idolize are really just, good looking fat butts. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And so the purpose of that fat is to serve as reserves. Of course, we all know that if you were to ever starve, if you were to hit, thank you so much for those hearts. If you were to get into a situation of starvation, we hold on to our fat stores for that. It's also there to help protect the anal area. And it also provides a cushion between your bones and any of the surfaces that you're going to be sitting on. So understand that that fat there in the gluteal area actually does have a purpose. Now here's what happens. So in the gluteal area, there are these fibrous tracts, okay? So just, if you can imagine sort of this interconnected web of fiber, almost like you're crocheting something. So if you've ever crocheted anything, you can see that there's this interconnected web of lines and all of that. So there's these fibrous tracts, and so their job is to basically connect the skin that's deep in the surface in the gluteal area. They connect the skin to the ischium, which is that part that forms the lower part of your hip bone. So the back and the lower part of your hip bone. So it's taking that skin, right? It's connecting that skin to that lower part of your hip bone. So there's this whole web of fibrous tracts that do that. Now, what they're doing is, hey Danny, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. And hey Ebony, I don't know if I said hi or not, but hey, thanks for joining me this afternoon too. So what happens is, as part of that connection, they also hold the fat in the gluteal area. And so that's the shape that you see. Now here's the problem. Here is the problem, okay? As we continue to eat things that we should not eat, and as we continue to gain weight that we should not gain, some of us, including myself, tend to gain a lot of the additional body fat back there in the gluteal area. So if you could imagine, let's just say you took like a knitted hammock, okay? And in that hammock, you were putting these gallon jugs of water into that hammock, okay? That hammock is only designed to handle so many pounds of weight. And over time, it's going to break, and everything, all of the contents that are in the hammock are going to fall down. Essentially, that is what happens with the fibrous tissue, with those fibrous tracts. Now, they don't necessarily break, but over time, as we age, if you are continuing to pile more fat stores and more fat stores and more fat stores and more fat stores onto that tract, onto those fibers, then as we begin to age, those fat contents begin to spill. And when they begin to spill out, that's when you start seeing like a flattening of the butt. You start to see not so much of the round shape. It starts to look more of like a flat shape, more of like a plateaued shape. And then that additional fat starts to hang at the bottom. And that's what causes that saggy butt look, okay? So two things that are extremely, extremely important, because understand that with age, there are some things that happen physiologically, okay? It's the way our bodies are designed. And what you've got to learn to do, especially if you want your body to be shaped a certain way as you age, is you have to learn to work with your body instead of working against your body. And so you must understand that as long as you are packing on additional weight, as long as you are eating a high fat diet, or as long as you are eating more food, bringing in so many more calories than what you are actually using, your butt may not sag now, it may not sag tomorrow, but you do have to think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And one of the things that I tell my kids when they try to sneak around and do stuff, and they think they do something for so long and they think that they're not going to get caught, I always tell them, you will always pay the piper. At the end of the day, you will always pay what you owe. You may not pay today, you may not pay tomorrow, but eventually you will pay what you owe. And so one of the first things that you need to do to either prevent that or to start trying to accommodate for that, if that's something that is already happening to you, is you need to take a look at the types of foods that you are eating. You need to take a look at the balance of foods that you are eating. Are you eating enough? Are you not eating enough? Are you eating too much? Are you getting the right amounts of different types of nutrients? Because understand that an excess of green beans is still an excess of food. It's still going to be bad for you. So it's all about balance. If you want to know how to figure out exactly how much you should be eating, how to customize your own meals, I've said this almost every day for the last 4 to 5 weeks. We are actually in week 5 of this kind of content. If you have not downloaded the Fitness and Nutrition for Busy Professionals, you need to do that, because in that very first infographic, it shows you exactly how to use your hands, how to portion your food to make sure that you are getting the right kinds of food and the right amounts of food for your body. Okay, so number one, if you are trying to prevent the butt sag, or if you are already in the midst of a butt sag, then you need to be looking at the food that you are eating. You need to be looking at the food that you are eating. And many times when we watch these things, we watch these videos, we read the books, we look for the tips, we are looking for all kinds of new ways, novel ways, easier ways, quicker ways, and at the end of the day, there is a set of foundational principles that are core to fitness, health, and wellness. They absolutely do not change. If there is a part of your body that is sagging, i.e. your butt, the first strategy is to always go back and look at what you are eating. Point blank, period, end of story. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. So yes, you must, hey Carmen, thanks for sharing, Carmen, I appreciate it. You must always go back and take a look at what you're eating. That's always going to be the first step, okay? That's your first step. Step 2, you have muscles back there, okay? You have glute muscles. Like, there's a whole team of muscles that are back there just ready to be used. You've got 3 major ones, right? Your gluteus maximus, medius, and your minimus. So you've got 3 major glute muscles back there that you can work with. And so if you are wanting to prevent the butt sag, or if you are already in the midst of the butt sag, after you take a look at what it is that you are eating, then you need to make sure that you have a consistent butt regimen, is what I like to call it. That's what I call mine. But you have a consistent regimen where you are working those glute muscles. It is what it is. And for my ladies, the ones who don't like heavy weights, you're going to have to use some more challenging weights with your glute muscles. You're going to have to do that. Because what you are trying to do is build the muscle, you are trying to strengthen the muscle, and then as the fat back there starts to decrease, your muscles are tightening and they are firming, and that is what is going to help to lift and shape your butt. But you have to have the support. So if you're not building the muscle, that those fibrous tracts that are back there to hold that fat, they only work for so long. Like, they have a shelf life before they just start dumping the contents of dumping the fat contents of your butt, okay? They have a shelf life. They're only gonna work for so long. And especially if you've got negative eating habits, they're only going to work for so long. So you have got to make sure that you are consistently working your glute muscles. And if you pay attention to my pages each week, if you've noticed, last week I started posting 1 exercise per day. If you pay attention to my page this week, this entire week is about guts, butts, and guns. So every exercise this week is either going to be for your glutes, for your abs, or for your guns. And if you follow this page this week, by the end of the week, you will have 5 exercises. There's already 1 that's up there already. if you've been following this page. I already posted one this morning, but by the end of the week, you will have 5 different exercises that you can use, and you can take all 5 of those exercises and put them together into a full workout for your glutes, your abs, and your triceps and your biceps. Okay? All right. So with that being said, what questions do we have? I hope that was helpful. Yeah, you may have been looking for some magic pills, but hopefully by now you would have realized that I don't give any magic pills. I'm going to give you very practical and very realistic information, because I want to make sure that you are doing these things the healthy way. So with that being said, who has any questions? Any questions, comments, screams of fury and pain? Does anybody have any questions? Any questions? And if you come up with questions at the end of this broadcast, you can type them in. That's totally fine. By the way, since we are talking about butts, guts, and guns, okay, I have a class that is called Butts, Guts, and Guns. If you are in Houston, it's 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Every Tuesday and every Thursday at 7 p.m. is called Butts, Guts, and Guns. And the class is slated for 15 participants. Typically, it's $35 a class. What I am doing for 10 of the spaces, only 10 of those spaces are going to go for $200 a month. That's $25 a class. 10 of those spaces are going to go for $200 a month. So that means that you get to come in Tuesday and Thursday, and for 1 hour, all we are going to do is work butts, guts, and guns. $200 a month. You're not going to be able to beat it. Point blank, period, end of story. That's like 2 days a week, 8 sessions a month, $200. And if you are interested in that, you can go to my website at www.asufit.com/BG2. So BG, the number 2. Again, that's www.asufit.com/BG2. Don't forget to catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at A Stronger You, ASTRONGER, the letter U. Catch me on podcasts on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/ASUFit. And again, if you have any questions that come up after this broadcast, make sure that you type them in, and I always come back at some point during the day and answer questions or speak to concerns or answer the comments and things of that nature. So I'm going to make sure that I have not missed anything, because sometimes when I get that little lag on Facebook Live, it will cut off some of my questions, and people will be asking questions and I can't see them. So I don't see any questions right now. So I'm assuming that everybody is okay. Get back to me if you have any other questions. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. And until we speak again, stay strong, stay beautiful, and always, always, always work towards becoming a stronger you. Peace out.